And so there are so many people who don't put any effort whatsoever when they're writing their CV. So you'd get a CV, and the first thing you see is curriculum vitae. Surely you're not going to read ahead. Like there's nothing more to read from that. Or someone has misspelled their name. The CV is either too long or too short. It has grammatical errors. So there's a very large group of people who don't put any effort whatsoever on their CVs. So common mistakes would be like grammatical errors, syntax errors. Your CV is either too long or too short. I always say that your CV needs to be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the content, short enough to keep things interesting. You don't need a CV that's like 50 pages. You can summarize everything in either like 1 page or 2 pages. But what you need to remember is your CV is going to go ahead of you. So someone is going to get your CV before they meet you in person. So it needs to sell you to the to the maximum best, because you're not there to say, sorry, I didn't mean this, I meant that.
Yeah.
It's interesting for me. One thing my mom used to tell me back in the day, she was like, Kevin, you need to get out there, network with people, get to know people. She even used to push me to the limit. She's like, you need to even have a business card. But I'm like, mommy, I don't even have a business. She's just like, just do anything, just showcase it, because you like gymming, talk about it. She was very passionate about networking. How important is networking for guys who are getting into the career space?
Yes, so it's very important. So the statistics have it that if somebody refers you to a job, the chances of you getting it are much higher than if you applied for one.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you need to network. But then also, as you're networking, you really need to know how you're handling the networks. Like, are you asking the right questions? Because sometimes we are so focused on, like, I want this network, but then you end up just asking for a job or asking for money, and you end up not asking the right questions, like, how did you get this job? Like, what are some of the challenges that you had to overcome? What excites you about your job? Do you use a lot of what you learned, or did you learn on the job? So even in as much as you're making the networks, are you using them to your advantage? Are you keeping them warm for the day that you actually need them? So networks are actually very important. Yeah.
So it's interesting. So should I go interview mode when I'm networking with the people? So I'm like,
no. No, but then there are certain things that you can say, and then like that network, like you can never use that network like ever again. So like, for example, for you, for the job that you have, did you network your way through, or you applied?
When I remember back because I got into radio in 2013. I think I got it because of my networks in rugby. Yeah, and then I knew somebody who was owner of a very big media house. Yeah, so they were a fan of our team, and then I just presented myself. I was like, I'm very passionate about radio. I like conversing, and they were just like, Kev, come through, bana. If hang around, we live and train you. But the intention was not for me to get a job. It was just for me to be in the establishment, almost like an intern.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So had you set out to be on radio, or it just happened by chance?
It just happened. I was broke.
Okay.
And I was very broke. Rugby was not paying me. I needed something, and I didn't want like a typical like corporate job. I just needed something fun, something that I'm very like, something that could be easy for me, something that, because I like talking. And those days I used to like gaming women. So I thought I had like I had a passion for communicating. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you ended up enjoying it, and it
then
pays
it became
you.
a career. I just slotted into the career seamlessly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you see yourself doing this for the next?
100%.
All right.
Because even now I'm at Spice. I mean, I'm playing an even bigger role, not just radio.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Management and that kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So typically, I would say that's the exception and not the rule. Yeah, so I mean, there are certain people who, by chance they end up luckily getting their dream jobs. But there are so many people whose paths are not like that. They have to maybe do their CV or network. The people who are even lucky enough to have uncles and aunties who connect them. Whichever way, at the end of the day, I think for me what is most important is, are you doing whatever it takes to get you to that dream job, whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's a key word. Whatever it takes.
Whatever
Yeah.
it takes. If we look at the situation in Kenya right now, I mean, there are no jobs.
Hey, it's bad.
As
Things
much
are
as-
bad. Alafu sasa Trump ameharibu zaidi.
What do you
Like
mean?
it's see now, like right now, there's so many people who are being laid off from those like US funded organizations.
Yeah.
So like it's getting.
So
worse.
how believable are you, like, to people who are like trying to search for jobs right now? They know this is Joan, she's a career coach. Are there any jobs in Kenya? What's the situation from your perspective?
Okay, so for me, I always say, if there are only 15 jobs, we are going to get those 15. If there are only 15 jobs available in the whole country, those 15, I'm going to get one. And I think that's the mentality that everyone needs to have, because then if you go with the mentality for there are no jobs, you're never going to do a CV, you're never going to apply for interviews, you're never going to put yourself out there. But truth of the matter is things are bad, yes. Jobs are scarce, and from the way things are going, there's going to be also like an influx of like other Kenyans who've been abroad. Now we are going to be like 1 million of us trying to like get 25 jobs. So of course, yes, it's very tricky, but is it still possible for you to get that dream job? Yes, but that is going to entail that you stand apart from the crowd. It's going to entail that, like you have a 5-star LinkedIn profile, you have a badass CV. When you're going for an interview, you are putting your best foot forward, because like we are scrambling for like 25 jobs and we are like so many. So you have to have something that is going to make you stand apart from the crowd.
As you push through this agenda, technology, it's becoming the main thing. Guys are using AI to do, search for jobs, to, even send CVs and all. How do you sieve through what's reality and technology, and how does this play a role in your space?
Yeah, so I remember like feeling so scared that AI is going to come and take the place of, because like you can even do a CV with the AI, you can even do a cover letter with the AI. But truth of the matter is, as a recruiter and a hiring manager, when I get a CV, I'm going to know whether it's AI generated or not. And so we're getting people who are saying, yes, I know I can use ChatGPT and get my cover letter.
You talk about that as well.
Oh.
How do you know the difference between someone who's using AI to write a CV?
So
Sorry for cutting you short,
yes. So you'll definitely know, because if I've gone through my, especially like a HR, a recruiter, hiring manager, they've gone through thousands and thousands of CVs. So I'm going to know. You can definitely know an AI generated CV, an AI generated cover letter, and and one that's been written by a human being. You can tell. So there are many people who are coming back to say, yes, I know how to do a CV using ChatGPT, but like I want it to be done by a human being. Yeah.
Joan, let me ask you. Let me cut you short for a bit. What's wrong with us using ChatGPT?
There's nothing wrong.
Remember, I was talking to you about this. I'm like, that's the new normal. Like,
yes.
I want it to be perfect.
Yes, but you see, I personally, I want ChatGPT to do the things that I as Joan don't want to do. So I want like AI. Let me use AI. So I want AI to like wash my dishes and do my laundry. But then I don't want AI to do coaching for me, because then like there are certain things that I want to understand from a person that would help me, help them. Forge a better path forward, career-wise. So for me, I want AI to help me do the things that I don't want to do, but I don't want, AI to like cook, because probably there's a way I want to like make my egg. So I want it to help me do the mundane things, so that I'm able to focus on the things that I need to do. And
how do you prepare for a CV? Sorry, an interview. I'm confused. An interview. How do you stand out? Especially in a space where guys are so educated. Guys are
big words.
First tell us like your interview for this, like your interview. They would tell us.
Me?
Yes.
I didn't do an interview here.
Oh, they just told you.
No. My work was there for all to see. So I think because I was called based on the work that I did previously in other companies. So it was an easy conversation.
All right.
But we had a virtual interview during that time for COVID. But my former boss was just like, he really wanted me around.
All right.
So the conversation was short and sharp. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your very first interview before getting into radio?
My very first interview, interestingly enough, it was Kwach who interviewed me.
For real?
Edward Kwach in Kisumu.
Wow.
So I was very confident, man. I was very confident, but obviously I wasn't perfect. And again, I can tell they really wanted me. So
How?
I was very confident. Maybe because of my rugby background, I was on their face. You know what I mean? And I was a very good communicator. I knew what I wanted. I knew the value that I was bringing to the table. I knew what I wanted to achieve. It was going to be a win-win scenario.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I could tell because you know what? I could even. I kind of knew the talent that was on the station, that station in Kisumu. So
it was like
instantly, I knew I was better than them.
All right.
Yeah, so it made it easy for the conversation during the interview process.
Okay.
And I dressed really well. Put on some very expensive cologne. You know.
When they asked you what's your salary expectation, what did you say?
Yeah, that's always a tricky question.
Yeah. Not too high, not too,
Okay. Yeah.
Because I knew the situation of the company. I didn't want to stretch them too much.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So actually, just those things.
Yeah.
Because then there are people who come for interviews. They've not done any research. First of all, they don't even know, is this an FMCG company or is it oil and gas? So just like basic things, research the company, know how much they are paying, because if you overquote, it's a problem. If you underquote, it's a problem. Practice how to answer some frequently asked interview questions. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are some of the key achievements that you have achieved in your career so far?
Exactly.
Why should we hire you for this position?
Yeah.
There are people who are very good at what they do, but then they can't answer these questions.
I agree.
Yeah. Again, like one of the things that you've mentioned, like you need to be well groomed.
I was very well groomed.
Jamini, like just bare minimum, just take a shower. Bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like,
Kwani guys don't take a shower.
No, you can come for the interview, and all of us are like, when will this interview end?
I know, man.
Yeah, just bare minimum, like take a shower, cologne, dress nicely. Again, sometimes people just don't put any any effort. So you see someone coming in and they have a creased shirt. They've not groomed themselves properly. Then the other thing that's very important is confidence. Unfortunately, there are people who are going to get jobs because they are confident, and they might end up getting a job and fired after 1 month because then, it was just all talk and no show. But you need that confidence 100%. If you're to, land
There's something
a job.
You've mentioned about the, the salary thing. I think that's a
Bado kwapo.
Yeah, niko hapo. Juu, sawa. I don't know. This is a company I'm trying to get a job in. I don't know how much they pay. I don't know whether to overquote or underquote. I just feel like I need to be paid 600 Gs per month. How do I balance that? How do I know what to say?
All right.
Situation?
Okay. So first of all, you must do your research to know what the market rate is for that particular role. And you can ask other people. So like, let's say it's a marketing director position.
Right.
You can ask other marketing directors in like other organizations just to have a rough idea.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then also you need to know what is your value, like what are you bringing to the table, because it could be the market rate is 500,000, but then like maybe you've just done your masters, you've just done this certification, you have the right experience, and you feel you can take it to like maybe 580,
yes,
for example. So you need to know what the market is paying, what you're bringing to the table, and then now decide what number below which I cannot take anything less than this, so that when you go for the interview, if you want 550, you can say my salary expectation is 580, negotiable. But it's after you've done all that like research.
You actually say negotiable.
Yes.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to like quote higher a bit, so that then you leave room for negotiation. Because again, you can't go and say I want 600,000. Msponipatia 600,000, like then you come across.
And then what happens? Okay, let's say I got into the organization. I was like 600 Gs, and then maybe I'm down to 250. How would you advise someone who's gotten into that space to readjust themselves? Should they leave as a career coach? How would you advise that person? Or should they stay there and see if the company is actually going to match their efforts?
Okay, so I wanted 650. I've gone in and they're giving me 250.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are they giving me 250? Is it because of their budget? Is it because they don't have a budget? Or is it because they believe that's what my worth is? So that is going to inform that decision. And then now from like the candidate's perspective, do I have a job? Is there anything else I'm getting from this position other than money? Because then it could be that they can't match the salary, but then they're going to educate you. There are other perks that are non-monetary that would be so beneficial to you that you can, end up taking the 250. So it's not black and white. There's so much thought that needs to go into it for you to find out, is that the right decision or not? Right. Should you stay and take or should you walk away? But basically what I normally say is when you're in a season where you're job hunting, of course, it's very easy, especially if you're desperate, if you don't have any job and, you need to pay your bills. It's very easy to take anything that comes. So you really need to have those conversations with yourself to know, is this the right job? If I'm getting a pay cut, is it going to be well worth it? Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Steph, before you jump in. Very important. I'm bouncing off your question. Say you're offered a job that doesn't pay well as per your expectations, as per your worth, but they're giving you good responsibility, good in the sense of you can go to your next job and say, I was a manager in such and such an organization, and therefore your next job will be very high level because clearly these people think it's impressive that you were a team leader, So when you're picking like a job, right, are those certain things that should probably also guide your decision? For example, it would be better for you to go for more responsibility as opposed to more money while you're climbing the career ladder. Does that make sense?
Yes. So it depends on, are you early career, are you mid, or are you senior?
Okay.
That's the first thing. So where, where are you at? And then number two, you really need to think about your trajectory, because not every person is going to benefit from, let me stay in this organization because I'm going to get X, Y, and Z, and you're being underpaid. It does not work for everyone. It's never black or white, because you see, like now, for example, let me use IBM. Let's say, 5 years ago, interns, you can get paid as high as probably 120,000, for example. Other internships, you'll probably not even get paid anything. So you see, if you graduated top of your class, I don't see why you're not getting paid anything, even if it's an internship.
Okay.
Yes. So it really it's never black or white. It depends on your grades. It depends on your trajectory. It depends on where you're trying to go. There's no one answer that fits. That fits all. But then you really need to be careful about how much you're being paid. And this is something I keep, we have these conversations a lot with my clients, because there's so many people who are currently being underpaid because they're afraid of asking for what their worth is. Because they're struggling with probably imposter syndrome. Because of that, what you're saying, let me just stay here because I'm getting X, Y, and Z, pesa itakuja baadaye. Apana. Because then again, it's going to reach a point where you look at your peers, you both went to university, you graduated the same year. Why are they being paid 6 times as much as, more than you? And you're the same person. So that there's a problem. There's a problem if you're being underpaid, because when you finally get your dream job, it's going to be very difficult for them to, let's say you're being paid, right now you're being paid 50,000 and you're being underpaid. The day you get the dream job and you're well qualified for it, and maybe they have a budget of 250, are they going to give you 250? They'll tell you, we'll even give you 80K. No, kilia sana tokpatia 90. Sinipongezea 10K. And you see your worth is 250. So it becomes very difficult for you to get back to where you're supposed to be. So this dream job, there are certain things that make a dream job. It's the environment, it's how much you're being paid. Is it a job that is in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions? So you need to make sure that everything is aligning.
Okay. Wow. For someone who's switching careers, let's say they want to move from the oil and gas industry to technology, what would you advise them to do?
Okay, so first thing, why do I want to switch industries? Is it money? Is it passion? Then number two, if I'm switching industries, then maybe the CV I was using needs to change a bit. Maybe I'll, my brand online also probably needs to change. My networks also need to change. And then again, as you're speaking to people who are now in that industry that you want to pivot to, you need to know the right questions to ask them, because I normally find sometimes you can have very good networks, but then you don't maximize them because you don't ask the right questions. You're asking for a job. You're not asking for some information that can help you get in and stay there for a long period of time. So of course the networks are also very important. You probably also need to get qualified because there's a certification that you need that you didn't require.
That's interesting. Guys, if you're just joining us, the one and only Joan Thuo is in the building. She's a career coach, and today we're talking about what it takes to actually land the job of your dreams. Before we say peace, Joan, somebody here is asking, what advice would you give to a Kenyan out there? Saki kusema Gen Z peke yake, but this is actually Gen Zote.
What?
For folks who are feeling lost in their careers, I don't know, goddamn, the stress, I can't handle my
They've
boss.
taken time.
I hate this place, it's so toxic, nini, but at the same time, they're watching the news and they're saying, Akuna makazi.
Yeah.
What advice would you give these folks?
All right. So 3 things. If you forget everything else that I say today, please don't forget this. So 3 things. So you need to get clear, you need to get qualified, and you need to get connected.
Clear, qualified, and connected.
Clear, qualified, and connected. Getting clear means that you are certain this path that I'm taking is the correct one. So it's in line with my strengths, my skills, and my passions. And I know there are normally 2 schools of thoughts. There are people who believe, let me just get any job as long as I'm being paid, it's fine.
Exactly.
Yes, if I'm good at it, I'm being paid, everyone is happy, let's go. But the problem comes now, when COVID hit and people lost their jobs, the people who were in jobs that they were not passionate about really struggled. The people who moved to shags those days for COVID and their careers have never recovered. Because you see, if there are 3 indicators that will tell you you're in the right career, and that is talent, passion, and mission. So talent is what you are good at. So from when you're young, what did your parents tell you you're good at? What did your friends compliment you on? What are the things that you're good at?
They stood out.
Talent, that's talent, what you're good at. Passion is what you love to do. So what job, when you do it, you don't even notice that time is passing.
It doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work. You're just being paid to do whatever it is that you love to. For example, you radio.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's the same for you guys. You're passionate about radio. Yeah. So talent, passion, and then mission. So what results do you care about? So now for me, what I care about when I'm able to help underdogs land jobs, oh my God.
Yeah.
Even if you don't pay me, I feel so good.
You feel fulfilled,
100%. And it's something I get paid to do. I don't have to do it. Even if I was not being paid to do it, I'd still do it.
Okay.
So talent, passion, and mission is going to help you get that sweet spot.
Nice.
Because then if you get a job where you're only good at it, you can excel, but then it's not going to hit the sweet spot. You can be successful if it's a job that you are good at and you're passionate about, but then if you don't care about the results, then at some point you're going to be disappointed about that job. So you need to ensure that those 3 things are in alignment. So you need to get clear about those 3 things.
Exactly.
And then number 2, you need to get qualified. Now, if you're not clear about the path, you see how you'll end up not being qualified, or you'll get qualified in the wrong area.
What?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Because
expound on that.
Okay, so now, for example, right now you're on radio.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if it's what you're really passionate about. Is it talent? So you're good at it?
Yes.
You're passionate about it?
Badly.
And you care about the results?
Too much.
Okay.
And it's
you're the
supposed to be in
wrong.
government.
You're the wrong
Yeah.
candidate.
You know, I was in government. You know, I
Yes.
worked in government.
Oh, you did?
I quit.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and a very, very prestigious job.
okay. So let's take example. Okay, let's take Andrew.
Yeah.
So Andrew, straight out of campus, the uncle got him a job in the bank. So Andrew was earning 60,000 in the bank, and then got, after 2 years he was promoted to let's say operations manager. So he thinks, what should I do to ensure that I get paid more? Let me do a master's. So Andrew does a master's. But then again, Andrew had always been so passionate, let's say, about basketball. You see how he's moving further and further away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Andrew gets married. Now he has a wife. See, now he gets, and then like the bank normally gives loans. He takes a loan, to support the family, etc. Now he is married. He has children. Has a master's in, let's say, banking and finance, and maybe that's not what he was passionate about. The problem with this is you can keep going, and on the outside, everyone, you see, you have a nice job, you're working in the bank, you're driving a nice car, but then if it's not talent, passion, and mission, at some point, things are going to break.
Okay.
And then now, if you're not, if there's something wrong with your work, unfortunately, it's going to affect every area of your life, your family, your children, because then you see, work is what you're doing every day.
Yeah.
8 hours a day. So we need to get clear. We need to get qualified in whatever it is you're clear about. And then now, lastly, you need to get connected, because then if you're not connected in the area where you're working, then it's going to be very difficult for you to move up. For some of us, like I'm very introverted. I'm not an extrovert at all. I know when people see me on social media, they think this
They think
chick
you're out
is,
there.
oh my God.
Sassy vibes.
No, I'm like the complete opposite.
Okay.
I'm very, very introverted.
Yeah.
But now you see, for my work, I need to talk to people a lot.
Yeah.
Like now, I've been called to this for this show today. I can't say I'm not going to come because I'd rather just be at home taking care of kids. Like I have to put myself out there. So it's taken a lot of learning to put myself out there.
Yeah.
To even connect with people. So now, if you're introverted like me, I connect more with people online. You can connect on LinkedIn or whatever, because then you're not going to find me in any event.
And that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even if you're introverted, you need to find yourself. You need to find ways of connecting with people,
Okay.
because people in that industry need to know you and what you're capable of doing, because otherwise you're not going to advance in your career.
So as we wrap up, the young guys, when we graduate just the other day, some people are still grinding, looking for a job.
Yeah.
Probably even they have to study other courses. From your experience in the job market, what are some of those jobs? You can just narrow them down that are on high demand right now.
IT, like anything, engineering, AI is big. Data science is so I would say big data, AI, data science, those are you're not going to miss a job. Degrees in engineering, you're never going to miss a job, because then anything IT is hot right now. Digital marketing, there's a lot of money online. So I would say that sales has always been one of those jobs. I mean, there's so much money in sales, and even if you have a diploma, you still can get a sales job if you have the knack for it. So I would say yes, IT roles, you can never go wrong.
Okay.
AI, machine learning, big data science, you can never go wrong.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Right. Final question. How you keep talking about LinkedIn. So how should someone actually focus on LinkedIn? From creation of the LinkedIn page, what should they do with it if they've never actually used it before?
Okay, good question, because I think many people underplay LinkedIn. So personally, that's my bread and my butter. That's where I have built my business. There are so many people who have, gotten jobs on LinkedIn. So I always say every day that every day you don't have a LinkedIn profile, or every day your LinkedIn profile is not optimized, is a day that you're missing opportunities. Because you see, LinkedIn, there are thousands of recruiters and talent scouts across the world there on LinkedIn every day looking for talent. So you need to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and just the simple things, even like just basic, like your profile photo, your cover photo, your headline. You know, list down all your work experiences. You need to be you need to actually be active on the platform, because if you're not active on LinkedIn, how the algorithm works is, let's say you're well qualified for this particular position, but you posted last 2 years ago. If I search for professionals in that field and put it in the search bar, and you posted 2 years ago, you're not going to pop up.
Okay.
So you actually need to be active for your profile to pop up when the talent scouts are looking for people. Yeah. So at a very high level, you need an optimized profile, but then you also need to be active. You also need to connect with other people on LinkedIn, because then if you only have 25 connections, only 25 people can see what you're doing. Yeah.
Sasa,
On a
thank you
high
so much.
level.
Yeah, Joan, you are so real. Umetujenga, so much value, so much resource for Kenyans out there. I'm seeing a comment over here by the brother Ward Juma, and I said, this is why I love SpiceFM.
Yeah.
This is it. You get Ward Juma, this is it. And I hope you've learned a thing or two. For me, my biggest takeaway from this conversation is how you need to stay connected, work on your talent, pursue your talent, ideally. You know what I mean? And something you're very passionate about. Align your career on that lane over there. What comes natural for you? What about you, Steph?
Yeah, I've just learned that LinkedIn, we should use it more, because
Yeah.
it's usually one of those that are just like underlooked.
It's
It's like,
true.
you have LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. JP?
That you can actually be a professional at something you're not even supposed to be doing.
Nakita kuramba uko mbele, buda.
But tu mali ufai ku-
Wait. You know how many guys are on that lane?
So many.
You get a guy's like 50 is like, yeah. I'm so good at what I don't
Yeah,
like.
that's really sad. That's really sad.
And then the kids are there. You're just looking at your family thinking, I
Oh
could
my
have been
God.
somebody different.
Imagine, yeah.
You
It's so sad.
It's sad. No. Sasa, once again, thank you so much, Joan. Thuo,
Thank you.
for guys who want to share your story, of course, further this conversation, how can they reach out?
You can email john.thuo@gmail.com. You can get in touch on IG, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Joan the Career Coach, all the platforms.
Yeah.
And she's an introvert, so you might not.
Exactly.
Send an email.
Wanna connect online.
Send an email to my email, please. Please don't call.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Joan.
Thank you.
So, when we come back, guys, right now I can see it's 11 minutes after 8. We will be hanging out, or should I say conversing, with the one and only Pauline Mutoki. She's a physiotherapist. Now, this one is now mine. This one is my conversation.
Yeah.
Niko na kashida fulani. I need answers.
Mi zangu nishasema.
Yeah, well, juicy zako ulisort.
Nilitoa zote hapo.
Yeah, need my back. Buddha. Anyway, it's all about how to build yourself again after pain, after an injury. I know you're thinking, oh my God, this is probably going to be the worst time of my life. This is now your permanent
like the
situation.
end, the
It's the end. No more gym, no more running. No. There's nothing like that. You just need information, you need knowledge, and then you never know, you can actually bounce back.
True.
So, like I said, Pauline Mutoki, she's in the building. She's a physiotherapist, and today we're talking all things how to build yourself again after an injury.
94.4 Spice FM. 94.4 Spice FM. Nairobi.